um
Yeah.
I want to know more about, like, I know, like, your background and everything, just to the viewers, like quickly, can you run down, like, how did you start writing and what got you into movies and all these, like, quick stuff.
Well, I always enjoyed writing ever since I was young, and I feel like during the time of engineering, I had like this blog, and I wanted to record everything that I was writing and put it out there. And on one particular night, I actually had a brilliant idea, and I realized that the idea was not a small story, but it was like a novel-sized story, which I had to break it into chapters, and I kept working on that project. And as I kept writing more and more, I realized some very unique writing philosophies, like the hero's journey, which is like a very very popular narrative that is used in like many different stories. So the hero's journey, a very popular hero's journey, is the Lord of the Rings, where there is the main character who's in a very steady, normal, calm, peaceful way, and his life is extremely, let's not say mundane, but it's like pretty normal. Nothing's particularly special. And there's a request to go on an adventure. The hero initially refuses, but then he has a change of heart, and then he goes on this particular adventure. And then initially the adventure goes in his favor, and he's doing amazing things. He's discovering this new world, and he's learning many lessons. And then there is adversity, and this adversity could come in many different forms. And when there's adversity, again the hero takes a step back, and then he has to have his own realization. He has to have his own lessons. He has to go on his own uh, journey to understand what is the purpose of him being in this story and in this particular situation, and how can he make sure he gets the best out of the situation. So the hero then, beyond that adversity, changes himself or upgrades himself, and he faces the adversity and he comes out on top. And that's a full circle. I mean, the hero's journey is one of those classics where you can change many different aspects of it, and you can make it into an interesting story altogether. So I learned all these interesting ways a story can be written. I understood that a thriller is written in a certain way. I understood what first person perspective writing is, and third person perspective writing is. In third person perspective writing, basically the author is almost like this phantom camera that is going around the characters. He's observing the protagonist converse with his friends, but he is never actually involved. But from first perspective writing, the author is the protagonist, so you're writing it from the protagonist perspective. So the movies also, the exact same thing works. Sometimes you're an observer, sometimes you are the hero. Like, the director or the writer wants you to be in the main character's shoes and feel the story from the main character's perspective. And through this process, writing has always been a part of my life. I want to publish all my writing one day, but I feel like there's so much more to do. uh, but the habit needs to constantly be a part of your life. You should always keep writing. I have a way of writing where I am trying to convey an emotion to the audience. So if the emotion is anguish, so I'll keep the word anguish in my head, and I'll kind of write a narrative because I want the audience to feel anguish for the main character, and I should be able to invoke that emotion in the audience through my writing. And then soon after, like when I met you and when I shared some of my stories with you, you told me, oh, this is wonderful. And you told me you want me to start writing my stories in the form of scripts, right? No, that's a whole other take in itself, because a script kind of is like a practical breakdown of a story. Like, in a script, you need to mention who are the characters in this place. Is it sunny outside? Is it dark outside? At what time of the day is this happening? What room are these characters in? And what exactly is happening in this particular situation? What clothes are these characters wearing? So it's more of a practical breakdown of a story. And in a story, I feel like there's a lot left for imagination. Like, the reader gets to imagine the character in whichever way he wants. But in a script, it's much more clear. It's much more on point with the director's version or the writer's version, whoever is in power in that particular situation. And through this journey, I got the opportunity to work as a script supervisor slash production assistant in a movie, and you were
Slash
the
AD.
assistant. Yeah, that was a wonderful experience. It was a lifetime uh, that I wouldn't want to change. Like I feel like that was a wonderful experience.
Nice, nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a beautiful experience. For me, when I think of our journey, like, we learned a lot. I learned a lot from you. Like, when I heard your storytelling skills, and then when I saw your writing, I definitely felt you have what it takes to be a really good script writer, right? And the whole process of getting you into movie was also like, for you to get an idea. Excuse me. Yeah,
yeah,
for you to get an idea, like how really, like, a book, like most of the books are transformed into a movie, right? So how,
yeah,
like, how is that actually done? Basically, like you said, the story format is given more of like a descriptive format that's called script or screenplay, and then you go and shoot based on the screenplay that you have. So that's the whole process
yeah,
of getting you involved in it. And we we'll definitely work together and have like really really good ideas in my head for us to work. By God's
yeah,
grace, hopefully it'll all come true. It'll be so cool. When I see this, like, I also feel like you and I have this like really good mindset that we can really create something just the way that they did. And I watched this
yeah,
whole YouTube documentary about, and not exactly documentary, it was like their movie making process that they did for almost like
yeah,
2 years, and they've documented it. It was just amazing.